All right, everybody. Always pumped up to bring you the Tech Vibe Radio One Mic Stand. And we're actually going back to school. That's right. We're taking a trip to school. We're going to Seton Hill University. Hey, this is Jonathan Kirsting with One Mic Stand, the Pittsburgh Tech Council and Tech Vibe Radio. Actually talking to Mary Finger, the president of Seton Hill University. And she is no stranger to Tech Vibe Radio. And I know these folks have been embracing technology left and right for years. I'm just really pumped to talk to Mary today about all the different things that Seton Hill's been doing to empower their students and their faculty to keep things up and running as normal as possible. So Mary, welcome to the show today. Thank you so much for being part of this.
Thanks, Jonathan. I really appreciate being here.
So first off, how are you guys holding up?
That's the first question I ask everybody. We're good.
How are you holding up?
Kind of counting down to the end of the semester, final few weeks here, but we're good. I think we're as well as anybody can be in this environment. We're doing well.
That's great. Obviously this all hit us by just such surprise, and the school's just to me, it's just been tremendous to watch how every school's been able to pivot and be able to kind of like make sure the kids can graduate, get through the semester, learn, keep the faculty connected. So I'm assuming you've had many sleepless nights over the past 6 weeks, that's for sure.
Yeah, a few. Yeah. But we've got a great faculty and great staff, and as you said, we just pivoted quickly, so we were lucky. We're fortunate.
So I've always been just this huge proponent of Seton Hill. You guys are such a great facility, really like a pillar of the ecosystem. And sometimes people just forget that you guys are there because you're so quiet and you're just like about 50 miles outside of Pittsburgh. But you have some really awesome programs, and you're just training a ton of people, giving people a ton of skills, not just job skills, but life skills and the whole thing. And I think it's been one of the secret sauces as to what makes our region just click. And I just want to remind our listeners and our viewers here on One Mic Stand, just a little overview of Seton Hill and some of the great programs that you guys have. I think people will be really surprised, especially with things like cybersecurity. You guys have an awesome program around that. So give us a little tour of Seton Hill, and then we'll jump into some of the tech that you guys have been using and have been using for a while that's kind of made your transition to this whole virtual online world a little bit easier for you guys.
Sure. Yeah. Well, thank you. Thanks for that opportunity. We're a wonderful institution, about 2,200 students, as you say. We're a little bit outside of Pittsburgh, about 40 miles outside of Pittsburgh. So we've been able to take advantage of both the kind of rural, suburban environment, as well as all the great advantages in Pittsburgh. We're got about 1,500 traditional undergraduate students, a number of adult students completing their degrees, mostly online, and then graduate programs. About 40% of our students are in healthcare and natural sciences. We've got a good, really strong liberal arts program that undergirds everything we do. A good performance as well, but as performance arts and visual arts. But as you say, we've had a number of new programs over the last few years. Right. Nursing, we put up a new nursing program, a new BSN program in nursing, cybersecurity, data analytics, global learning, health care and healthcare management, health science and healthcare management. So a lot of new programs, and just the traditional programs are just really strong and wonderful as well.
You lift off these programs, and these are the exact crazy industries where there's such demand for these positions. Right. I think it's just so cool is that people come into your school, they get this awesome education, but they're learning they're getting skills that are exactly needed when they graduate, and they're in positions that the world really needs. And lots of them. I think that's just so tremendous about the school.
And that's by design. We've actually got an Office of Innovation and Academic Planning that really scans the environment and really make sure that we are, matching the new programs that we're putting up for what the region needs. We've always been really a good community citizen, and we want to make sure that our students both get jobs and that we're also providing the area with the kind of employees and well-prepared students that are going to advance the Pittsburgh area. And so we've been really fortunate there.
Absolutely. I know you work a lot with industry as well, too, to really bring that real world into the world of academia so the students can really learn and see what is needed now, and it matches those two worlds together really nicely, kind of meshing together like that. I love it.
We've got an advisory committee for all of our new innovation, new academic programs, And that committee really does take a look at what we're thinking about and give us some ideas about what's really happening in the industry, everything from data analytics to cybersecurity. We've had really strong partnerships with industry and leaders, and they really said, hey, this is going to work, this is what's coming up. And so it really is a great partnership between our faculty and people out in the community really working in those jobs.
Right. So with a lot of your students that are doing virtual classes or doing their classes online, you already kind of had this jump start in really making sure that you have the best, strongest, most resilient technology solutions to keep people connected. So
Right.
when the word came down, no one's coming into class. you guys were somewhat prepared at that point, which I thought was really good. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, our adult degree programs, which are your adults kind of over 24, finishing their degrees, all those programs have been online for the last 5 years. We kind of switched from a Saturday to an evening format to online because that's what people needed. A lot of our graduate programs are online as well, but our undergraduate programs, we have just over 1,500 undergraduate students. We're traditional undergraduate face-to-face campus, residential primarily, and so we were the first institution in the country to make sure all of our students got technology in 2010. It was iPads then, it's MacBooks now. And along with that, we also provided a huge amount of education. We've got an Office of Innovative Teaching and Learning that has really helped our faculty to get the technology across the curriculum for what was ever appropriate, whether it was, voice streaming, or it was, our learning management tool, or it was, utilization of iPads in our dance classes or whatever it is. But so we had our faculty, 75% of our faculty, we had gone through an education process, and about 75% are working on the newest technology, the iPad, pencils, and all that kind of thing. So we started this in 2010, and we've been keeping up with the technology, keeping up with really involving our faculty in that. So I think there are three major reasons that we were a little bit ahead of the curve. I mean, we are, we're a face-to-face campus, so you're going online virtually. That, we went down for 2 days, said we're going to give faculty time to really make that transfer, but all of our students have the technology. So you're not dealing with multiple platforms, you're not dealing with, a lot of different technology. The faculty person who's teaching history says, I know that all of my students have this technology, I can utilize that, rather than, trying to deal with multiple platforms and how to, and they all have the technology. So, it's not a digital divide kind of issue where some kids have computers and some don't. Everyone's got it. All the faculty have it. They've all gone through some level of education. So we were ahead of the game on that. And then they just, they were utilizing what they were utilizing in face-to-face, some of the methodology they were using for face-to-face classes, and it was just transporting it to a virtual format. So, we were as seamless as one could be, going from a residential campus to a virtual and an online reality. So,
obviously, at first I just find it so impressive that it was 10 years ago. The school had the vision to say, this is the way things are going to be happening. We need to invest in tech and make sure it's consistent and resilient. And so you have that going for you. I feel like you could write like a little handbook for other schools to follow. I'm sure there's probably schools like reaching out to you being like, how did you do this? It's like,
right. Yeah. Well, I on listservs with other presidents of other small institutions, and I'm really fortunate as our provost is saying, oh, we're not dealing with that issue. We're not dealing with that issue. But we are, we're all learning. And I think that's a big part of it. And I think some of the things that we're learning is, both we're isolated as a result of this, but we also are in each other's classrooms, and we're in each other's living rooms. And one faculty member talked about the fact that, she learned more about her students because, one young person is living in Florida over the beach, and they get to see his house, and another person is living on a farm and just had 10 newborn baby goats, and they got to see.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it's a different way of being, and we have to kind of celebrate the fact that in this challenging time there are also some really great things happening.
So you must have one heck of an IT team as well, too. Obviously, you've got a really strong IT team in order to be foundations of your tech platform as far as that goes. I'm sure this probably didn't faze them at all, right? They're just like, and they're off to the races.
They're amazing. I mean, they you know, with every kind of challenge, they just switch gears and said, okay, well, what we're seeing is, these are the times that we're getting the most calls, so we're going to have to figure out, more people on that. So we have both a really strong infrastructure team, technology-wise, and academic technology team who are really helping faculty who are calling and saying, hey, how do I do this? I did this in class, but now I need to do it, over a different kind of timeline. So how do we do
power buttons on the front?
No, I think we're all way past that, but yeah, but there are other issues. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We're really fortunate, and our faculty are amazing.
All the way around. So I just find it such a cool, positive story that way you guys have been able to handle this. So how's graduation going to go this year? How's that going to take place?
Yeah, well, we were supposed to graduate May 9th. So we're doing some of the celebrations around graduation virtually. So we're doing our grad bash, which is when our students come together, and they usually come to the president's house on campus. And so we'll be doing it from the president's house, but it's going to be virtual. We're going to do a mass at Thanksgiving. We usually do a baccalaureate mass. That's going to be virtual. Our honors convocation is going to be virtual, just so they can have some celebratory moments.
Yeah, I mean, they've been working for this for a while. You kind of want that.
They're amazing young people. They really are. But we pushed graduation back to August. I'm hoping we can do it physically,
right,
with all kinds of mitigation in terms of social distancing. But
there's a new style now. It's gonna be the face mask with with
all the regalia.
Right.
Yeah, we'll have to get some face masks with our seal on it.
Get some dangly things and hang on. Just don't throw it off when you're done. Just
right. No throwing it off. Right. That's wild. But yeah, so what we're hoping we can do in August. Of course, we're going to have to follow what happens in the world and take it day by day.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. And you guys, obviously, you've been doing this. What's up. So, I mean, how are you? What are you thinking about for next semester? Obviously, you're trying to plan that. Hopefully, kids will be back in school as regular beginning in the fall. Hopefully, unless something crazy happens. But of course, if not, you can run things virtually pretty darn well, right?
Well, we can. We don't want to. I mean, the
whole point is to get people in classrooms, right?
The community is really important, and even our student life people have been doing a lot of virtual things like online karaoke and things like that. So to keep people together. And
any clips that you could share with us later with the online karaoke?
Yeah, not me. Somebody else can. But so we've been trying to keep community virtually, but it's easier on campus, and so we're working towards face-to-face campus. Of course, first priority is safe and healthy. Whatever is safe and healthy. But and I think like every other school, we're looking at multiple scenarios. And hybrid and some other things.
Oh, good. You have to have all sorts of contingency plans out there.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know you guys are prepared either way. I think
feel like I'm in the military right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anything we haven't covered that people should know about the school? Any new programs are going to be coming up in the near future? What else should we get out there for you?
Well, we started a BSN program. We're also starting this fall an RN to BSN program. So it's a transitional program for people who already have their RNs. We're hoping to see a doctorate in physical therapy, more along the line, more of the healthcare pieces. We're seeing constant growth in terms of cybersecurity and looking at some other, perhaps some certificates for smaller kind of stackable credits for people who might be interested in doing some things in the short term and then applying that towards an undergraduate or a graduate degree long term. So a lot happening.
No, it's super busy. So glad you were able to take some time and talk to me about what's going on with the school. I think it's an awesome story. People can learn from what you guys have been doing, being proactive on technology. That's what it's all about, right?
It certainly is. We've learned a lot. And we're going to keep learning, I think, all of us, right?
Absolutely. I wish you guys continued success as far as that goes. And I can't thank you enough for taking the time.
Well, thank you. It's always great to be with you.
Appreciate it.
Take care.